Hello, women and men and women, the man and the woman. Ah, this come to me this morning, actually a lot more, and I think where I'm being led is here. Eventually this will lead into marriage, but today it's man and woman, right? And there's a lot of controversy over this. I'm not going to say I'm perfectly correct on this subject, which I'm not perfectly correct on any subject. You'd have to look to God for that one. But I wanted to bring an understanding of the differences that the two represent, right? You have the man and the woman, right? They have not been named, right? You have man and woman right here in Genesis chapter 1. And the man comes first in verse 26, right? And he is supposed to be in the likeness of God. The likeness of God is the foundation, and he's going to have dominion. Now, notice it does not include the woman there. He's going to have dominion over the fish and over the fowl, cattle, the earth, right? Creepeth things, and that's going to make some women pretty mad, and I'm sorry, but you should be happy. You do take a part in this because the woman come from the man, right? And the woman we'll see is a helper in Genesis chapter 2. Now, we have the role that was given to the man. And that role was to dress the garden, to cultivate. Now, there was two things that was going to happen in this garden. I've done pointed out this is the first kingdom of the earth, right? And the first kingdom of the earth was to point forward to the kingdom of heaven that was to come, right? So God has put man into a learning position, and he has put man in this garden to cultivate. Now, there's two things going to happen. Man is going to cultivate that garden, and that garden is going to cultivate that man. He's going to learn his mistakes, and he is going to apply knowledge to do different things in his garden. And that is going to prepare him for the coming of the kingdom of heaven that's many moons away. Now, in 18, one man is going to be hard to keep and dress all that garden and all the earth, because this garden was to spread out. Remember, he has dominion over the sea and over the earth. Now, one man, I don't think, would ever been able to do that. So God says, and the Lord said, it is not good that a man should be alone. He is not going to be able to fulfill this job by himself. I will make him a helper met for him. All right. A lot of people here will suggest that now the man and the woman are to dress and keep the garden. I don't see it that way. Okay? And let's go on down and you'll see kind of why. And God caused a deep sleep on Adam, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh, and the rib which God took from the man, he made a woman. So we have man made in the image of God, so that man would understand the directions of God. He was put in the garden to cultivate the garden, and for the garden to cultivate him. Now we have a woman from man. Now, I don't know about you, but I've met a lot of women, and I don't see a woman coming out with big muscles and big strength and, the mighty woman that can lift buildings and cars and trees. But I see a gentle, a kind, loving, very emotional, wanting to follow. That would be my description of most women, right? But she's supposed to bring help, and she does. She does through children, and this is her role. It is not good for the man to be alone. And God gave him a woman, and a woman brings forth help. She took the seed and produces a child. What kind of help did she bring? She didn't have all kind of muscles or strength to work and cultivate in that garden. What is her role? Her role is to bring up children unto Adam that will help Adam cultivate that garden. That is her role. Now, I've heard a lot of women have problem with this. And a lot of women go, well, I don't think I'm supposed to have children. You're probably right. But you're still supposed to help to cultivate children for this garden. That's your role. Whether it is a teacher, a caregiver, something to do with children, taking care of children. Not only that, children get sick. You may be a nurse that is called to bring up these children and keep them healthy for that garden. So it's not just popping out a child. That's not what God is talking about. The role of the woman is to bring forth children for the man. And that's the help that God is speaking of. So don't think I'm talking of a child or you have to bear children, right? She is equal with the man. She is not lesser than the man. She is weaker because her role does not involve keeping the garden. It's not her role. Her role is to bring forth children. And that's very important because the woman here in her definition is very important. And the two will leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and they shall be one flesh, equal in parts. All right, so we got the role of the woman, right? We understand the role of the man, and it's still today. These roles have not changed. The fall has not happened yet. This was how God had set up the identities, right? Now, I'm speaking more to men. If God had you set out to build a house, and your woman was your helper, and the woman comes up to you and says, I'm ready to go build a new house. And you looked at her and said, I'm tired, lady. Man, I don't know if I want to go build a new house. And the woman said, well, we're supposed to build houses for the Lord, and I want one. That man would get off his butt and he would go build that woman a house. And they would do it together. Why is it different when a woman says, I want a child? She has been called into the role of this woman to build up a child in the name of the Lord and to bring it forth to be a helper unto her cause in this earth. But man don't like that. And I don't agree with that. If a woman wants a child and you're her husband, I don't think that you should deny her right in her role in the kingdom that God has set her in. And I don't think that a man should force a woman into this role. Okay, so man and the woman. Now, this is the woman that is described unto the first Adam, right? And this woman was to bring forth children to help Adam. And this is going to really make sense. this woman is a woman of the earth. Now, we have a woman that was of the Spirit. Now, this woman gives forth, right, to Christ, the promised child that is to come, right? And he has a woman, and we are his bride. It is not gender specific. It is both man and woman, right? These two roles are still in that woman because this is a foreshadow of the things that were to come. You have one man in the woman who is going to cultivate the surroundings, and you have another that will bring forth children's. You have gatherers. What does the Bible say? Reapers and sowers. Haha! I do remember. Reapers and sowers. You have reapers and sowers. You're going to have one that reaps the harvest, and you got to have one that sows the garden, right? And the one that sows the garden is man, as Christ says. And the one that reaps the garden, the harvest, is the woman. And this is the two roles that we see in the bride of Christ, and how we are to bring forth children, the man sowing and the woman reaping, right? And this is the understanding of the foreshadow that is to come yet. And he was to learn this. Adam and Eve, or the man and the woman, were to cultivate, learn to cultivate, learn to harvest, and they do it together. Anyway, God bless you. Hope this helped.